Did it again. How many times am I going to do that, I wonder? Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are all having a good day. It is going to be an interesting stream today, for sure. I have a couple of very interesting people in the Discord that I've been chatting with for the past almost an hour so far. Just talking about, stuff that everybody's going through right now in this whole quarantine deal. And I think it's interesting, and I think it's something that a lot of people should be thinking about. How some people are reacting to it. Hey Chris, what's up, man? And like, what up? Everything is taken. That's an interesting username, man. Anyway, yeah, so this is gonna be a kind of a... He said my name. Duh. Yes, this should be a cool stream. For those of you who don't know some stuff about me, I am a double major in neuroscience and mechanical engineering. I took a break for the whole quarantine thing because you can't really do that kind of stuff during quarantine. You can't really, it's just hard. I don't want to be doing that kind of stuff outside of a classroom. Anyway, so yeah, let's jump into the Discord and see what's going on with them.
The Hot Wheels and not us. And then
I am back.
Had a flame and it went up. Hello. Ellen, you missed physics. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
I saw.
Oh, hello.
I didn't want to interact.
Yeah, physics is fun, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I hope that's sarcasm.
You hope that me saying physics is fun is sarcasm?
She has a past with physics, let me just say that.
I don't like physics. I'll do your physics homework, but I don't like physics.
That's understandable. I don't think you want to do my physics homework. Anyway, yeah, so back on the conversation that we were having before I had to leave to start the stream.
Okay, I don't even remember what that was.
We were having a conversation about psychology.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting enough to start my stream with it, so.
Okay, cool. You're gonna have to catch me back on track because I got distracted.
We were talking about how like psychology is based off of checklists, and there's no real definitiveness to any of it.
Yeah, there isn't, but at the same time, it's like if someone needs help, you can't just be like, well,
you can't just be like.
But like, where's the line?
I feel like
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like everything should be done kind of on a case by case thing. You know what I mean?
Right, but like on a case by case thing, then you need to follow that person for so long to just like, get their normal amounts. Where
And there are other
Hey,
types of psychology.
True.
Yeah.
Like what I'm taking is social psychology.
Oh, is that like kind of like a philosophy kind of aspect to it, or?
It's more like how our psychology changes with social situations, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like how we including like how we construct our sense of self.
It's
There's also a bit of how memories are impacted by our situations.
Yeah, for sure.
I try not to think about my sense of self.
You and everybody else.
I try not to think.
You try not to think, just period. Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
I do not think, therefore I am not.
Yes, very classic. I don't know. I just feel like when I hear social and then psychology in the same thing, the only thing I can think of is when I was like, we were doing some kind of thing where we were trying to find the best studies related to fish, and then there was a couple where it was like, one of them was like, oh, these fish, when they were raised in a group, they stayed in a closer group when they were put in a tank with other fish that they have never met before. But then when they were raised like in isolation, when put with other fish that they obviously haven't met before because they were in isolation, they like stayed further away.
But how does fish have anything to do with the human psychological
Because they're dumb. They're a very good model because they're dumb.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We as a species are quite dumb.
You're right. Another one was like they added like it was talking about how other like how we deal with withdrawal, and then they basically got a fish depressed because they got them high on nicotine and addicted to nicotine, and then just like got pulled
How
from
do you
nicotine
get a
and they were
fish
depressed.
addicted to nicotine?
Give them small dosages of it, the same way that you would with humans.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I've felt those effects for a while.
Oh no, he drooling.
No. But yeah, it's yeah. Anyway,
Julia.
anyway, I feel like the way that we have and I mean I'm a very like logical person. You know what I mean? Like I don't do well with like trying to understand emotions. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well that's just because you're a normal human being and normal human beings like can't, you know, nobody understands each other's emotions." But I've like through my life, I have seen like the perfect opposite of that unless everybody's just really good at faking understanding emotions.
Nah, half of it's faking and half of it's misunderstanding.
Yeah. Nobody like truly understands each other's
And
emotions.
then whoa, you're so loud, Ellen. And then
Oh,
half
I'm sorry.
You're
And
good.
then half of it is like, half of it's faking and half of it's misunderstanding. Half of it is getting lucky, and then the last half is not being good at math. So
The last half is just not being good at math.
we
Yeah,
are
it's-
200%.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the roots of humanity, it's like the whole idea of working as a community is like crucial to the species, right? So the idea of like working and trying to understand other people is like quintessential. So I'd say that people do overall like try to empathize with people, but of course we don't feel emotions the same way, and we feel
Yeah.
different ones about different things. So it's hard, but I feel like it's genuine most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I can never understand why people are scared of spiders, but like I feel
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get
Okay.
Are you scared of
Are you
spiders?
scared of
Ellen?
spiders, Ellen?
No. You're just the one who tells me to kill bugs.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
You're the one who complains about that one bug that's in your shower that has so many legs.
Yeah, I don't like house centipedes. I know they're good, but I don't like them being in the shower with me.
The only
I will
bugs that I
say
tell
the one bug that's like just pure nightmare fuel has to be centipedes.
No, it's
I
those
had
giant
centipedes as
mosquitoes.
pets, so I kind of vibe with them.
It's
Like,
the
Giant mosquitoes? Is it just
Yes.
because you know like and you understand how bad mosquitoes are, so then when you see like a giant version of that, you just hate it?
Yeah, because like even the giant ones don't even sting. I'm like, oh,
Don't
big.
they
Just
real
big.
mosquitoes?
What?
Yeah.
Don't the like giant things that look like mosquitoes eat mosquitoes?
I don't know. I know
I don't
certain
even know what they are. They're
I
just
know a
scary.
lot
I'm
of
like,
I know a lot
"Ah."
of bugs will eat mosquitoes, like dragonflies eat mosquitoes and mosquito larvae.
I thought you said dragon.
I
fruit
too
for a
eat
second.
mosquitoes.
I thought you said dragon fruit for a hot second, and I was just so confused.
Yeah, but like why do people fear like spiders and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
The prospect of getting hurt by them, perhaps?
Part of it is that probably,
Yeah, like,
but that
The
But,
only
like,
two
I
fears
feel like
that
some
everybody.
people take it to, but some people have more of an irrational fear of spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't like spiders. Like I prefer them on the other side of glass, but I'm not like.
You're
But
not
do
gonna,
you
like,
do you know
I'm
why
not
that
gonna
is?
Freak out.
We've sort of upped
They're just kind of
the terror
weird.
of them.
And
If
Yeah.
that-
they look unusual compared to what we normally see. Like most creatures are
Is that
four-legged.
well? That's just
And
because
two
mammals in and of themselves, and to an extent lizards and yeah, vertebrates
You know
in
what freaks
general
me out?
have a consistency of
Hmm.
4 legs.
True.
So as vertebrates, we are more inclined to be okay with creatures that have 4 legs in it, and sometimes a tail. You know,
That's probably why ladybugs aren't quite so freaky because all their legs are hidden.
exactly. And they're pretty colors. But in actuality,
True.
a lot of those ladybugs aren't even ladybugs, you know?
No.
They're something else entirely. And you know, ants, people like hate ants, but ants are some of the most amazing creatures on planet Earth.
Yeah, aren't they like?
Oh yeah.
What was it? Were they like? How many times strong? They can lift how
Well,
many times
that
more than
yeah, but
100
that has to do with physics. That's not even
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an they're
Yeah,
exoskeleton.
Asian lady beetles.
Okay,
Everything.
have you heard about the thing where like you
Interesting.
can drop an ant from and then their terminal velocity is like not
Yeah.
very so like when they land they are fine because their exoskeleton's strong and they are tiny and terminal velocity said slow.
I had to
Mhm.
do a problem in physics involving ants.
Oh my
And
god,
they gave us
dropping
like
them?
this. They give what?
Did they make you drop them?
No, no. My dad. So before there was like a 3-paragraph blurb on ants, and so we just had. Well, I guess I just had to figure out all this stuff before going into the problem. So that's my qualm with ants. Anyways,
I don't know. I just feel like do they get scared? Like people tested that. Like I feel like people tested that. Do they get scared when you drop them? Like even if they won't die, do they think that they're about to die?
Well, ants are they're interesting because they have a brain, but the way that they perceive things is based almost solely off of chemoreception.
That
So
is true.
they don't see really. They have eyes, but their eyes are very very small. They're more sensitive to
Yes, this is why if you
to
wipe the trail
smells.
of ants with alcohol, they no longer go that direction.
Exactly, and you know, if you were to give an ant some type of chemoreceptive chemical, right, that I feel like that would freak them out more than something that they see. It's all based on the species and what their dependencies are.
Yeah,
We
true.
almost, as a species, we solely depend on two things: our eyes and our ears, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why whenever we hear about somebody that's gone blind, we're like, oh my god, and they have such a harder time navigating the world than somebody with their eyes, because we have designed our world in such a way that we put an extreme emphasis on our eyes, to the point of almost insanity.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, like if someone was like, "Oh, I can't smell anymore," we're like, "Okay, sorry, mate." But like we're not like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, in some
Like, no
respects,
one-
that's even a good thing if you can't smell anymore.
Oh, having no sense of smell impacts your sense of taste.
Yeah, I'm like nothing.
Yeah, you
tastes
can't
pleasant.
taste anymore either. It's true.
Yes, when raw potatoes and apples are the same.
Mm.
Crunch.
Crunchy, crunchy. Yeah.
I want to keep listening, but I have to go feed my cat.
I feel like at that point though, you
Go
would
feed
just
your cat and come back.
yeah. I feel like at that point though, you would just almost exclusively base like how good a food is based off of its texture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
basically.
Like you would have a serious no, Chris, I won't watch your kid while you kill dark green. um, if,
Ellen is dark green usually when we play Among Us. That's what you're referring to.
no,
Yeah,
I'm talking to my chat right now.
I'm assuming, but
Yeah, and you know, even our ears, right? So my uncle, right? I guess yeah, kind of more my second cousin, but we call him uncle.
what state you living in? Alabama?
No. Second, he's my grandma's sister's son. So would that technically be
A great
uncle or
uncle.
Great
yeah,
uncle.
great uncle?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so he's deaf and he lost his hearing at a young enough age to where he didn't learn how to speak at all. So you know, some people and his girlfriend lost her hearing much later in life. So at that point, your dependency, what you knew when you lost it, it's totally different. You know what I mean? So it's like she tries to talk to you, but my uncle doesn't even try at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's a whole phrase where like it's like a deaf voice, you know what I mean? Like some people who lost their hearing when they were too young, like they can try to speak, but
But
then
just-
it's like
yeah,
it
they
doesn't
can't.
sound as it doesn't sound right, you know what I mean? Also, apparently babies start crying with an accent as soon as like on the second day that they're born. Like they all cry the same on the first day, but then depending on like what languages like they hear around them, like they start having an accent from crying on like the second day.
That's interesting. Why do you think that they do that?
I mean, like, think about it. Like, babies they can hear everything when they're, like, in the womb. Like, they would dance to music, you know? Like, they got some sick beats popping, their baby's gonna go kick. Like, they can hear everything, so they're learning. So I'm assuming, like, their time in vitro, and then, like, once they come out, it's like, they're like, ah, yes, these sounds, I will mimic them.
But at that point, when they're, in the womb, it's more towards vibration, right?
Well,
Like they
no,
can't,
it's kind of
it can't.
both.
Yeah, but they're when you're underwater, right? When you're swimming, and you feel you like hear music. You're not. I guess this is just this sounds dumb, but all hearing is just vibration.
Well, yeah, like if you're gonna say it like that, but like babies in the womb can hear, like can understand
back.
different voices. You know what I mean? Like somebody, like they will react differently to if they're like their father's around and they heard them speak a lot, then they will react different from that from like a stranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can tell differences, and even if they're at like the same frequency, if we're gonna go like solely by vibrations, hypothetically, then it's like if a vibration is present, then baby will go boom boom. Then no, it's like they definitely know that they can tell like who it is. And I think that the one day that they don't cry with an accent is just to take a break to be like, oh, this is what it sounds like when my ears aren't clogged.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, I can breathe now. Oh, I have to feed myself.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, why am I so cold? And then that's like their break day, and then they start back to crying
So-
with an accent.
I have a crazy because all of us kind of have ideas on all this on psychology and neuroscience and the what's it called, the our morals towards it. What do you think about brain computer interfaces, BCIs, that kind of stuff? Like
No, I
how do
think it's
how do
kinda
you
cool.
feel?
I feel like it's cool. Like I feel like people who that if we can get there in the future, that'd be really, really cool. And at the same time, I feel like that way with most technologies, people are like, "Oh my god, it's so scary. What if this happens? What if this happens?" Like they said that about the television. They said that
Yes.
about smartphones. Like you just gotta go with the times. Like if you can get it to work, it works. You know, and you just have to deal with it.
I feel like the people's main fear about it is that that
People get
it's
hacked into you.
yeah, instead of somebody hacking into something that you can just throw away and get a new one of, it's your brain. You can't get a new brain.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, but also, I don't know.
And I feel like to us, memories and stuff like that in our minds are way more precious than memories that we keep on a computer.
Well, if we can put it on a computer, we're gonna have
Well,
multiple copies of memories. And think about like the possibilities of that. If you can download your memories and
What's
store them on a hard
interesting-
drive, like if someone gets Alzheimer's, like that will never be a thing again. You can just re-upload it.
Yeah.
What's interesting about memory, though, is it's not like this was from the psychology course that I'm taking. It's not formed when you like see a memory of an event isn't formed during the event. It's formed
Right, it's
when
afterward.
you recall it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's different basically every single time you draw it out.
Mhm.
Also
Yeah.
about the Alzheimer's
And
thing that I
Mhm.
I watched a video. It was about have you heard of the Tetris effect?
There's so many
Briefly.
of those effects. I don't remember
Briefly.
what this was.
The Tetris effect was basically there was this study done with I believe the study was done based on dreams and Tetris. Like they had people play
Tetris Effect is apparently a version of Tetris, and I looked it up. And
Yes, it is. It's based on the Tetris effect that like
Oh.
they named the game after this thing after the study done on Tetris.
Interesting.
Basically, they had people playing Tetris, and then they'd sleep and report their dreams. And people who said that they dreamed about Tetris played better the next day. And this was done with like pros, amateurs, and people with
No experience. in
amnesia.
Tetris. Oh, interesting. I
And
have
the
heard
people
about it.
who had
Yes.
amnesia did have the dreams, and one of them put their hands in the right positions without knowing what they were doing. And
No, no, no. Yeah,
I
it's
saw
definitely like
another
a
video
subconscious.
on like a similar topic where it was like
Man,
it's almost
that's
like
I don't
the
know.
problem isn't that they aren't forming memories; it's that they're not able to
Recalling
draw
them.
them out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, it depends on the like type of damage. Like if the whole hunk of the brain is like damaged and dead and missing, like it's definitely they form the memories and they can't recall it because that brain part is dead. You know what I mean?
Well, there's only
Yeah.
one
But
specific part that we know of, really, that stores and computes and recalls memories in the hippocampus.
right, but the thing is, the hippocampus it has to like communicate with different parts of the brains to recall it. Like if you're paralyzed because you're like one part of your brain that controls say like your hands, right? It's just gone. It like
Almost
the
almost always
hippocampus
that's the
can't
nervous
connect.
the brainstem and the spinal cord, but yeah.
Well, it depends on like if you just lose motor because of a brain injury, and then it's like the hippocampus can't communicate with that area, and therefore you actually cannot remember how to do it. You know what I mean? It's like it depends on the situation. There's some parts where like the hippocampus itself is injured
Yeah.
I
as
also
well. So
I'd also heard about this guy who had both types of amnesia, like both
really,
retrograde and antegrade,
yeah.
and yet he could still remember his wife's face.
Oh, that's true love right there.
That's really interesting to think about.
Yeah, I think he could he remembered how to play the piano as well.
Okay.
So did he remember how to like ride a bike and everything?
I don't. They didn't talk about that.
Well, it's just I'm putting into a term that a
Might-
lot more people
yeah,
can
he might have.
understand. You
Like,
know,
he
it's
remembered some things, but he didn't remember. Like, he wouldn't remember. Like, if you were to go and talk to him, he wouldn't remember you during the conversation.
yeah.
Like, he'd forget who you were, but he could remember his wife.
I feel like there's a lot of things that are like muscle memory in a way, like you call it, like we call it muscle memory, and that stuff you do keep it. Like, I don't know about his
Yeah,
wife, but
it's
like
like
as someone who
stored in a
plays,
different place, kind of thing.
right, and it's just like short connections between the muscles themselves instead of the brain. Like obviously,
Ellen,
the brain is
Ellen,
involved,
thank you for
right?
the follow.
So then it's like the nerves there, they process it differently. Like it's kind of like just like storing a function and just giving the function name at that point because the fingers already know what to do if you're playing the piano, you know. And like
Mhm.
I definitely have times where
Yeah.
as someone who plays the piano, like it's weird because I would zone out in the middle of a piece and come back. I have no idea where I am, and I was not like actively thinking about it at all, and yet my hands were just like doing it, you know. And
They're
it's
just
like
moving on their
actually
own.
when my like hands stop knowing what to do, that I have to zone back in and figure it out, and my brain's lost.
Yeah.
Like it's when I forget that I have to zone back in. If I don't forget like parts of the piece, then I can just finish the whole thing without actually.
Yeah, like if you're riding a
Thinking.
bike and then you think about how you ride a bike, you suddenly don't remember how you're
Right,
supposed to
right,
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I fall, and then my
Mhm.
parents make fun of me because I fell.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
sometimes I'll be
so
playing a video game and then I forget and then I like pay attention to what I'm doing and then I
Yeah, if you
can't do
try
it
to think about
anymore.
like if you're in Minecraft and you think about like how you move, you know what I mean? And stuff is like especially in like
you
I don't
are
know
now
on
conscious of your breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
yeah it's like
No.
or it's
Or
like
you're
you're
blinking.
conscious of when you blink your eyes, yeah, stuff like that. Like I guess
Fuck, I
maybe
did it to
Minecraft like
myself.
PC gaming.
No.
PC gaming isn't that bad, but like when you think about how you move like an Xbox control, like that's when it gets really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's so easy to think too much, and then what do? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah, just like stop thinking. Like Ellen, you played a piano. Like when you have a memory
I
gap, you don't think. You just keep playing and pretend that the memory gap never happens, and your fingers know what to do, and then
I
your brain does
do.
it.
I play a lot of Baroque music, which means that if I mess up on that sort of thing, it's fine because it all sort of meshes together.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
So-
were just creating an ornament. It was artistic.
Yes, it's
Stylizing.
this little flair of personality that I have. But no, it's yeah, I mean, it's like you guys were saying, it's just like if you think too much, you trip
there.
up and you have to compensate for that by thinking more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I smell bacon. I think I keep saying that, but I keep smelling bacon, and I hope my mother's making bacon, or else I will be very disappointed.
Bacon is life. Anyway, yeah, it's so weird, and especially once you start looking towards like back like what we were saying before about brain machine interfaces and how we're gonna connect that to us and to a computer. You know, it's we don't even understand, you know, how we dream. You know,
Yeah.
we are
Man,
so
if I
inept
got
at
better at
understanding
Minecraft
our
every time I dreamt
brains.
about it, I'd be so good.
It's like we don't even understand our own brains well enough to know how or why or what we can do with our dreams. And yet we're trying right now to somehow connect our brains to a controller that will allow us to control our everyday life without even touching anything. You know what I mean? And
Do you, sorry. It's about dreams. Do you guys ever have dreams about something and then it happens? Like exactly as you dreamt it?
so that's
Define.
actually very interesting.
Because are you remembering? Because like I don't know whether you're remembering your dream right
So
or
I'm confident that I am remembering it correctly.
but like
Because, like, I'll jot it down if I remember something in particular, and then it happens.
well, what do you jot down if it's like small things like my mother made me eat breakfast? Like no shit.
So, but here's the
Not
thing, right? A lot of
specifically.
deja vu, like what you're talking about right now.
Right.
Deja vu, basically, and I've heard a lot of people say this. It's when most of the time when we dream, we forget our dreams, right? You know, and when we forget our dreams, it just kind of leaves an open, like a gap in our memories, in our perceived memories. So then once we go and we complete a task or we do something that is even slightly apparent to that perceived memory that we lost from a dream, right? Your brain tries to fill the gap with what it just did, and it feels like we've done it before, or we've seen this before, or we've been in this place before. But in actuality, you've never been there before, you've never seen it before, you never dreamed about it. It was just close enough. It was just close enough to the dream or the memory that you had that it will compile itself into it.
No.
You know what I mean? That's what people have told me before, and that's what people were saying in neuroscience. It's really interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I feel like that's going to be a big problem with trying to figure out how we dream is trying to understand deja vu and things like that.
But then there's also those like almost prophetic dreams where, like,
Dreaming is
remember-
weird. Dreaming is just
really
weird. I mean, you have all these things. You got lucid dreams. You have, I mean, nightmares in and of themselves, night terrors, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird what our brain does when it enters a
About
quote unquote
nightmares,
sleep mode.
It's weird what will trigger them as well.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
when I watched The Incredibles, I had nightmares.
It's
And about Dash specifically, and I don't know why. I don't know where they came from, but ever since then I've never watched The Incredibles again. I haven't watched the new one.
Fair enough.
So
interesting.
it was really weird.
I mean, I've dealt with nightmares a lot, but that's because of like things that have happened to me that sort of manifest in dreams.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they come back to haunt you.
It's
that sort of
interesting.
thing. So yeah, I mean, it's The Incredibles or like trauma, you know? It's
Why was it linked to watching The Incredibles?
But did the dream have anything to do with it?
Yeah, it had to do with Dash.
That's so
Dash
weird.
specifically running around. I don't entirely remember what the circumstance of where he was running, but it was Dash running.
That's so
and that
weird.
and it was somehow a nightmare. And I don't remember why it was a nightmare. I just remember it being really scary somehow. But all I can remember of it is Dash running around in a weird landscape.
So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and back to like our original conversation. I'm going back way far, but like, why do we as humans try to quantify so much what other people experience?
Because
You know
it
what I
makes
mean?
it easier to
it's
empathize.
easy, yeah.
Yeah, like why do we try to
Ellen, go eat.
put all of this,
Oh my God.
like, put people's experiences and put the way that people see not just the world, but also like you know, how we've grown up. Why do we try to quantify that into a dysfunction? You know what I
To
mean?
like a number form because it's easier to relate to. Like like say like, okay, I feel happiness on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And you also feel happiness on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say you have an experience and you say that that's a level 8, right? Instead of going, but like say you're like, oh, I went on a cruise with my family and I was really happy and it was an 8 out of 10 happiness, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, I've never been on a cruise, but 8 is really good. It was like the time that like we went to a water park and you're like, oh, I've never been to a water park, but that's cool, and you can both understand now.
Yeah.
Just
And it's like
people like having a name for things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
a way to like label stuff. Like as much as we hate it, like everything in our brain is categorized into labels, and it's just so easy to be like, oh yes, an 8 out of 10. This is like this. There's similarities. I can draw similarities between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, our entire language is based on labeling things.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And it's
Which is
not just
so
our
weird.
language, every language.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Which
know,
is
I feel
why-
like a lot of it has to do with like just being able to communicate with others, trying to
Yeah.
trying to sympathize with them. Is the best word I can think of.
No one else can understand exactly what's going on in your head,
Yeah.
and that's what language is for,
And
trying
I've-
to get that across.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and you know, I found a lot of times during my life when people will, you know, try to sympathize with you in a way, like they'll try to say like, "Oh, that's normal." You know, or "Oh, this is, you know, that kind of thing
Yeah, but, like,
happened to
someone's
me as
normal is
well."
not necessarily another person's normal.
Yeah, and like this, and they'll say like, "Oh, this happened to me as well. It's whatever. It's normal," you know. But like the nuance to it, like the way that you experienced it, and the way that like your brain is acting on this information could be totally different. You know what I mean? People are like, "Oh, like everybody has like times when they don't know what they're doing with their life or whatever, you know, it's just part of growing up. You don't know what you're going to do, you know,
Yeah.
but like the way that people experience it is totally different. Like people with, you know, chronic depression are going to feel totally different about what I just said than people who just straight up are like in college and super bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people with chronic depression truly don't know what they're
Justin
going to
walked
do
in
with
at a
their
weird
life.
time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. We're talking about I'm streaming right now about psychology. We're talking about psychology. Anyway, it's like people who have it, who have chronic depression, say they don't know what they're going to do with their life. They literally don't know what they're going to do with their life because a lot of times they don't feel like they're going to live long enough to see it. Whereas people who are just bored in college don't know what to do with their life because they're just bored.
Yeah.
And
Or they
I
don't know
say
what-
that
or
I
they
say
don't know what to do because they
yeah.
have too many options.
exactly.
But none of them are good.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm kind of like in between those two, where it's like.
But
I
right
have
now
a
we're
lot of
trying to
options, None
quantify
of them
it.
are good, but I also don't think I'm gonna live long enough to see it.
But you see what's going on here now, right? We're
Yeah,
now
yeah, no, for sure.
quantifying it. So, you know, it even though you try so hard not to quantify how people are feeling or how people are
You kind of have
perceiving
to,
things,
yeah.
you have to in order to wrap your head around it.
Yeah, for sure. Like you know, like those people that have like 400 things on their desktop.
Yeah,
That might or may not be me.
same.
I'm somewhere in the middle. I have a decent amount, but it's all on one side.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
have two
yeah.
things in the dead center for some reason, and I don't know why.
Okay, see, the thing is, my desktop, I have a Mac, and so they automatically organize it for you. And so, like, my desktop will, once you start filling up the whole page, it will go and over. Okay, sorry about that. It will like overlap itself.
Yeah.
And so I have like 3 layers. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is too much, and I never open my desktop because I'm like, I can never find anything there. The same thing with like the brain. If you don't organize it into like nice little folders, you can never find anything. There's
Yeah,
no, like,
for
a
sure.
search bar, you know, for your brain.
Yeah. It's no matter how much we want it to be, it just doesn't exist. And you
Yeah.
know,
There's also no control
so
D.
how do you guys remember things?
depends on what it is. If you have to
Just
tell
like
me to
in
memorize a
general.
string of-
In general, how do you remember things like when you're trying to bring them up in conversation?
Again, it depends on what I'm trying to memorize in this
Yeah.
situation.
But like not even like just memories in general. Just stuff that you remember. But like how do you bring them up in conversation? Like
How do I bring them up?
or more like how do you remember them in order to use them in a conversation?
Oh, how do I like recall them for a
Yeah,
conversation?
how do you recall them?
It's definitely like, you know, on Google when you have like keywords and certain words will trigger certain things to pop
Yeah.
up. It's kind of
Mhm.
like that for I feel like for everyone. Like you put like tags on YouTube kind of thing or on a social media post. You put tags on each of your memories, and if something catches up, like that's why when we were talking about the social psychology, I was like, ah, yes, my depressed fish. Because for some reason I
Yeah.
put social and psychology on those, and my brain was like, yes, fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either that or it's just floating near the surface because you want
Yeah.
to bring it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it's
That's
something that
so
you're excited
interesting.
about for some reason.
And also, speaking about fish
Oh,
and
no.
psychology, you
They're
just
very
reminded
good
me
model
of this.
organisms.
There is a concept called priming,
Hmm.
which is where some stimulus makes you more likely to think of another stimulus. Like if you're told about the symptoms of a terrible disease and you happen to have one or two of them, you'll think you have that disease.
Mm,
You know.
Hmm.
But there was a study done where a bunch of people, where it was found that if a bunch of people were in a room that smelled like fish, they would be more suspicious of people because
It
of
smells
the
fishy.
connection between fish and fishy.
interesting.
Because it just primed that slight connection between the fishy smell and
Fishy people.
fishy dealings.
Whack.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm gonna have
interesting.
to go eat dinner now. See y'all.
All right.
Cool. Have fun. EJL's just been chilling here.
Yeah,
Jeez.
we're gonna change this stream up soon, but you know, I feel like I'm gonna have to put aside like a day or whatever in the future to where
I don't know, man. I got
a day during the
school.
week. No, but I'm just talking like in general for my streams. I think what I'm gonna
Oh,
do
okay.
is like once a week or something. I'm gonna have like a just chatting stream or a talk show stream that just
That'd
like
be cool.
people get together. Like we'll get some people together that have stuff that they really want to talk about. You know what I mean? And like
Like a
they've had
podcast.
on their
Like a
yeah.
podcast.
That's what I'm thinking
Or
about.
even just-
I think I'm
or even
gonna
just
I'm
not
gonna
even
I'm
have
gonna
anything to talk
stream.
about.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
no,
just
I
trying to say,
mean
like, yo, what up?
I feel
Like
like you know for getting like people that are like you know watching the stream or on the Discord and they have things that they've wanted to talk about and get some outside opinion, not even outside opinions, but like just outside knowledge on, and like bring them together with other people that have experienced similar things, and just you know have them on to talk about stuff and you know maybe help other people out that are watching the stream, because I feel like
Yeah,
that
that
would
makes
be really cool,
Man, how
and
did
then
we
just
get
do a
here
VOD
from
for it.
Graham's physics?
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, but we came here from physics.
Well, I think I started talking about neuroscience, and then it kind of just
Probably.
furballed from there.
Yeah, like we got there to like plumbing, which makes sense in a sort of way, and then from there
Our
directly to like
our
neuroscience.
brains plumbing. Yeah.
What the brain connects to other things is really interesting as well.
Yeah.
Because like how we got here from physics.
Mm-hmm. How our brain like connects, and I think that has to do with what we were talking
Briefly
about
went to
before, like
ants as
memories
well.
with tags, tagged memories.
Yo, la. Okay, I gotta go. See y'all.
All right, see you, read them. Yeah, so it's been random. I was reading it how it's written. All right. Reddom.
Oh, it's random. She just calls herself random for some reason.
I don't
Profile
know.
picture's red now.
Oh, I think that's based on her mood, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's why she's calling herself Red Dumb.
Oh, is that what
Because
she's been saying?
I'm pretty sure she changed her name to Reddom around the same time she changed her profile picture.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because someone suggested it.
I don't know.
setting. Are you guys still on stream or something?
I'm still, yeah, I'm gonna be streaming till 11.
What are you streaming?
Right now, it's just face cam and talking about stuff with people.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm just having a
What are you
just
talking
chatting
about?
stream. Like we were saying, we were just talking about, you know, psychology and how
Oh yeah,
kind of ridiculous
how
it
we got to-
is.
that's how we got to psychology. We
Yeah.
were doing my physics homework, then we started talking about classes and how they're being done online, and then I talked about how my psychology class had a
And
weirdness to
you
it.
know, here's a good thing to talk about now. Both of you are in college right now, right?
Mhm.
What is it like having taken college courses inside of a college and now outside of college at home? What is it like the difference for you guys? Do you feel like you're missing a lot from like the normal college experience?
Yes. Wait, so.
Not really. I feel like I'm missing a lot from the normal college class,
Yeah.
but I never actually did anything with the real college experience. I was going to start
But
this semester.
But
Like,
do
I
you
was
feel
going to
like
go to a club.
that this is
but-
like causing people to miss out on a lot, especially in high school? Can you imagine if people started freshman year last year, or they're starting their freshman year this year? Like for seniors, to me, I would much rather be a senior this year than a freshman. Like absolutely. You know what I mean? Cause it's like, at least you know people, right? Like you've had that experience of
Yeah.
being around people and engaging with them and you know, creating relationships during your first 3 years or your first 2 years of high school. And now it's just the continuation, like you were gonna, you know, stop seeing them the next year anyway. So it's like you just kind of got skipped up ahead. But now,
Yeah.
people that are getting into high school this year, right? They don't see people like every day in class and talk to people. Footloose, thank you for the follow. All they see right now is people on a computer screen. You know, they just hear what they
Yeah.
sound like, and normally it's not even what they sound like because they have crappy microphones. You know what I mean? And like they see their faces, but they don't know anything about them. All they know about the people that they talk to during these Zoom calls and whatever is the face that they put on for an hour every day. That's it. You know, and I feel bad. I feel
Like,
bad that
there's
people
no
don't get that
lunchroom.
experience.
No hallways. No,
Yeah.
like, meeting people in the hallways or in the lunchroom.
Or after class, or after
Yeah.
school, you know, hanging
on
out
the
in
bus.
clubs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's none of these like super important formative experiences that people need to have in their first couple years of high school. Getting berated by seniors, one of them.
Like, there's no just waiting in the class for the class to start and just talking to the person next to you,
Yeah.
because in a Zoom session, everyone is in one big session, so you can't really have a private conversation.
Yeah. There's no like getting a date with someone. There's none of that. You know, you're just stuck. You're just like, you just gotta deal with whatever happens, and it's
At least in college, since it's so big,
yeah,
you're more likely to have classes with people that you don't know anyway.
yeah. I feel like that'd almost be worse though.
Yeah, but it's like it's not as big an impact, since you might not be, since you don't know anyone when you wouldn't know anyone going into the classroom, you don't know anyone going into the Zoom session.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sure, being able to talk to the people would be nice, but it's also not going to really change much because you probably aren't going to see a lot of them again.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, I don't think I've had a single class with any of the, like, I had a we had a semester-long group assignment in the spring, and I don't think I've had a class with any of them again, just from looking at names.
Yeah. Totally off topic, guys, but is anyone watching the stream? Can they tell me how bad the frame dropping is right now?
Your Wi-Fi's bad, John. You should feel bad.
No, I don't think it's the Wi-Fi. I think it's the frame rate on my monitor.
Oh. I wish we could do, like, you remember that one time we discussed the dual, stream session? You and I?
Mm-hmm.
We should really do that. I'm not paying attention right now because I have a lot of classwork due tonight, but, just wanted to hop in and, like, listen in on you guys, but...
Yeah, I could stream a Discord call.
Just you and
Are
I.
you doing physics homework that actually turns out to be impossible?
It's movie homework.
Yeah, he's doing, what's it called? It's,
What do you mean?
RTF.
RTF, radio TV film.
Yeah. Oh man, you're really
Yeah.
loud. I gotta turn you down real quick.
Oh, me?
No, it's fine. I'm just checking my gain levels. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like, yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought now.
You know, we can't talk about monkey.
Return to Monkey. Monkey-S. Alright, I feel like we've degraded our brains far enough, now. Anyway.
Have you ever felt like
There's a psychology thing about that. Or-
You know what
no, I said I wonder if there is.
Oh, 100%. If people
there's,
have
like,
said something that it's become a psychology thing, you know, it's just the way it is. Anyway, I am going
John,
to,
no, wait, I want to talk about one last thing.
Sure, shoot.
Was a infinite type. You know that theory, the monkey typewriter theory.
What?
You know the
But
monkey.
it's not a theory. It's just a.
A meme?
It
if
is
you
a-
have-
it's
no,
considered
it's-
a theory.
Is it considered a theory? No, I don't think it can be considered a theory because you can't test it.
Well, they
Mhm.
did test it
Well,
actually.
they did test it. Then it's a theory. It used to just be a
Because-
saying.
I read something. I forget if it was on TikTok or something, but it was like literally someone said that or maybe it was a meme I saw on Twitter. I forget. But let me actually hear actual monkeys. In 2002, I found it. Here it is. In 2002, lecturers and students from the University of Plymouth Media Arts Lab course used a 2000 grant from the Arts Council to study the literary output of real monkeys. They left a computer. They left a computer keyboard in the enclosure of 6 syllabae crested macaques in the zoo for a month with a radio link to broadcast the results on the website. Not only did the monkeys produce nothing but 5 pages totally largely consisting of the letter S, the lead male began striking the keyboard with a stone, and other monkeys followed by soiling it.
What the heck?
I still don't. Yeah, it does. I don't think it really counts as a theory. Still, anyway.
I
That's
just think
more
it's
like-
great.
Yeah, that
Dude,
is funny.
there's
But
an
the
entire
saying,
document on it? Dude, I want to
saying
download
with like,
this.
if you have an infinite number of monkeys typing on an infinite number of typewriters for an infinite amount of time, eventually one of them will write Shakespeare.
No, you can
Like that was the saying.
download.
Eventually, yeah, somebody will write Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Download the. You can download the copy. Look, John, I'm gonna send this a voice.
I'm
You'll love
good.
this.
Anyway,
No,
we're gonna switch up the
literally
stream,
you can
guys,
see
and we're going to be back to your regular scheduled programming of,
Reginald. Any
Reginald.
fancies?
Anyway, I will see you guys, why don't we do, every Friday? How do you guys feel about, doing Fridays? We do, no, you don't want to do,
I want to do a show with you, John.
why not, yeah, well, let's do some, talk stuff on, like, we'll do a just chatting stream or a talk show stream on Fridays.
Okay, good idea, my friend, comrade.
For me, it depends on how much stuff I have, because I do have stuff that it is due Friday, and sometimes I sometimes just wait till the last minute and then finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like doing I like dedicating days to homework.
Mm.
Can you
Just
actually
like
purchase this?
once I get started, it's easier to just keep going.
Okay.
You can actually purchase this? What the fuck?
Alright, well, we are going to switch over now to back to Elite Dangerous, I guess. I'm gonna make sure all the stream settings are good as well, but yeah. Goodbye, guys.
Yeah.
Graham, did you see?
So, I'm gonna restart stream real quick. Darksiders Genesis. Interesting. I don't know what that game is. I haven't seen anything on it. Ryan, is my is the stream health okay, or is it just like really taking a long time for you guys to get a response from me? Because if the stream health is fine, I'm gonna, you know, keep going here. But if it's really laggy, then I'm gonna restart. Because it seemed like it was taking like 10 minutes for it to go through before. Let's see what's going on in the Elite Dangerous chat here. Hello. I have a question. I have a question for you guys.
What's up?
Is my stream super laggy right now? Because it says I'm dropping 34% of frames.